The housing market in France is different than the US, and that can lead to some costly misjudgments for Americans.
We're going to show you 4 mistakes that Americans make when they're buying in the French countryside and how to avoid them.
Hi, I'm Raina.
I'm Jason.
We're back at Bound. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Hey, hon? Hey, Jason? Come and look at this thing I found. Well, thing. A really cute house. Look at this. That's adorable. And look at the price.
Oh, wow. That's a really nice yard.
I know. I didn't think we would find anything at this price point.
Look at the stones.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so cute. And look, it looks like it has a nice yard.
We could totally afford this.
Yeah. Like, oh my God. I can't believe that it's still on the market at that price. That's crazy.
Yeah. We know why it hasn't sold. It's priced 30% more than everything else around it that has sold over the last year.
This can be a little bit like when in the US, someone who lives in California starts looking at houses in Texas, and to them, it looks cheap in total dollars. But if you were from that area in Texas they're looking at, you would know that house is super overpriced.
Yeah, usually in the US, you have an overwhelming amount of data from recently sold comparable houses to give you a good guide about prices in the area that you're looking at. You can figure out from afar if that is a really good deal for the neighborhood. That level of data doesn't really exist here in France in the same way. But we do have something that you can use to get a better idea of what houses are selling for in the area you're looking at.
You would not believe how excited Jason was when he found this tool.
What a great day. What a great day. This public website here shows the prices that homes sold for over the last 5 years. It has a really great map feature, and it allows you to see the sale price, the size of the house, and any land that was included in the sale. It will also show any large outbuildings, farms, barns, detached garages, things like that.
Detached farms.
A detached farm would be great. So, unfortunately, one drawback is it doesn't include pictures. So it can be hard to judge exactly what the condition of the house was at the time of the sale. But it's still going to give you some sort of data so you know if the house you're looking at has sold recently and what comparable properties around the area have sold for.
Historically, unless there was a major renovation done, houses in the countryside, they don't really increase in value that quickly. So if you're seeing a really large discrepancy between the recent sale prices around the house you're looking at, or sometimes even if it just sold a couple of years ago and then suddenly there's a big price jump, you definitely want to dig in and find out more about why. There could be a good reason. I mean, maybe it's got a new roof and a septic tank, but it also could just be it's overpriced.
Hello. Oh yeah, hi. Yeah, we were thinking about France. Yeah, you're right. They have a house for sale, like now? Oh, it's going to be soon? But it's not on the market yet. Oh, that's incredible. How big is it? I've never heard of that place, no. Oh man, yeah, send me more information. I know, I can't believe that. Okay, I'll go talk to Raina like right now. Thanks.
So it might feel like this incredibly serendipitous opportunity, but there's something in these situations that can happen that almost always creates buyer's remorse.
Everybody loves an opportunity.
Yeah.
But, because maybe you feel you have this special connection to this property, that connection can start to weigh much more heavily into your decision than the property itself. So you start to make compromises of all kinds that you never would have if you just saw this property on its own.
Right. So, while in these situations, you are definitely going to save on agency fees because if you have a personal connection and you can buy this directly from the owner, and that's fantastic. But it doesn't really matter if it's not the house or the location that you want. And you may be watching this thinking, oh, that's not me. I would never do that.
Yeah, I know. We all know that it's not us that would fall for that situation. We wouldn't get caught up in that. Everyone else might, but not me. But just be careful in this situation because there are actually a lot more houses than people in the French countryside. Yeah. So while nice properties and really good locations with a great price, these do sell fast. However, often countryside properties, they take a while to sell.
Yeah. I mean, remember the average time to sell in rural areas across France, according to Seloger, is 120 days. And remember, that's the average.
We've literally seen a few houses in our greater area that have been on the market since we moved here.
No joke.
Realizing after you buy the house that this isn't the right location for you, well, it maybe take a long time to resell because houses often don't sell quickly. So take your time.
Yeah. And I mean, the way to really avoid this mistake is just to think and to be able to recognize if it really is an opportunity that you've come across, through a connection or word of mouth. Figure out what you're looking for in a house before you start looking. I know this sounds elementary, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. But if you do this, figuring out which part of France you want to be in, the type of property, the size of the city you want to be closest to, and how close.
Then, if Bob's uncles, cousins, brothers, neighbor's friend has a house for sale, you'll know quickly if this really is an opportunity or if it's just a distraction. I love the views back here. It's just so pretty. The vineyards are going to be amazing in the spring.
Yeah, me too. It's so peaceful. But we're so far out. I don't think we can walk to anything from this house.
I think it'll be okay.
When we do consults with people who are planning to move to France, they often tell us they are dreaming of finding both a peaceful French countryside home with gorgeous views across vineyards or a beautiful French landscape. And they also want to be able to walk to the bakery and the butcher and market and cafe.
Sure.
I love all of these French scenes. But often the amenities that people want and the lifestyle they're thinking of here in France, it doesn't always match with the property that they tell us they're looking for.
Yeah, people often have an idea of the lifestyle they want, but then when they see a house that's pretty, it's well priced, and oh my God, it has a new roof. Look at that.
Those are expensive here.
That is a good thing.
Yeah.
Having a new roof is valuable. But when all this happens, they sort of assume then that they can surely just plug in that lifestyle that they were envisioning into this house and into this area that they're going to be moving to. Because c'est la France. It's France. Everything will work.
Yeah.
But once you've actually start living there in the location, you realize that you really miss tennis and you wish you would have chosen a town with a court. There are villages that have tennis courts.
100%.
But not every village has a tennis court.
Right. Or, I mean, maybe you're just dreaming of fishing more in retirement, but the closest river to the house you found, it's kind of a pain to get to and park and, but there's lots of rivers in France. You can totally find a house that's close to one if you start to, look for that first because it's probably the lifetime you want. We have a client recently who realized it's really important to her to be in, if she's going to be in a small village, to be in one with a bookstore. That actually makes it easier for her to find a place because she can rule out all the villages with no bookstores. So to avoid this mistake, just think about the things that you want where you're living, the lifestyle you want to live, what you want to do every day. What would you do on an ideal day off right now? Find that area you love first and the amenities and the things you want to do first. Think about those must-haves. And if you want to walk to the bakery, you might actually be looking for a village house, not a petit chateau.
From afar, even with all of the information that's available online, it's much harder to get a sense of place and a feel for an area than it is to find a nice house. Mm-hmm. So people often come to France on a house hunting trip when what they should really be doing is an area, a city, or a village hunting trip.
Jason, can we turn the heat up? I can't feel my fingers.
No, not if we want to eat this month.
Oh, I miss insulation.
There are a lot of beautiful 200-year-old stone houses all over rural France with no real insulation, very high ceilings, and lots of single-pane windows. You'll feel this in the winter, and you'll pay for it every month in heating costs, which can be much more expensive than it is in the U.S.
Yeah. So if you see a gorgeous, well-maintained house and you visit in the summer while the weather is just lovely outside, 78 degrees, it may not occur to you that this house has energy efficiency problems.
But France has made this easier to figure out. Mm-hmm. Like all things are easier in France. Houses actually come with an energy rating. So for a house to be listed for sale with an agency, the owner must have a diagnostic report completed for the house for you to see. This diagnostic report will include great information about lead and asbestos and termites, but it also includes an energy performance diagnosis. All homes are rated from A to G, and they give the buyer an estimate of the power costs to run the house. It also includes recommended energy or efficiency improvements that could be undertaken, so you'll kind of see some of the things that are wrong with the house. You can find all these ratings in the listing for the house, and in the diagnostic report there will be additional details. If it's not included in the listing you're looking at, the agent should be able to provide it to you.
Okay, one of the things we want you to know about this is if you're immediately like, oh, I'm just going to look for A rating houses.
Everyone wants an A.
Everybody wants an A, right? Only 2% of homes in France actually have an A. Most homes are going to be a C or D rating, which usually means they've actually had some updating. We're talking about older houses here. So that's actually pretty good if you find a C or D. So the takeaway here is to consider the ratings and the estimated energy costs when you put an offer on a home. If it's a G or an F, you really want to take that into consideration in the overall asking price for the house.
Yeah, and it's a note, landlords do have to give you these same energy ratings when you're renting as well. So you can check before you move in to make sure you're not going to end up paying huge heating bills because the owner hasn't updated an old property.
If you want more on the house hunting and buying process here in France, you can check out this playlist. Thanks for watching.
A bientôt.